Hey YouTube! Today I wanted to show you the process of a recent illustration of mine. I was selected to be a part of the show called Tobeyou at Light Gray Art Lab this month. Light Gray Art Lab is a really cool gallery and workspace dedicated to illustrators in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They do a lot of curated shows, and I was so excited to be a part of this one for my first show for them. Tobeyou was a show that was all about the artists. It was Light Gray Art Lab's 5th anniversary, so they wanted to make it about the artists themselves. For this piece I used watercolor on illustration board. I chose watercolor because of the whole theme of the illustration. It took me about 6 hours in total to complete, and I did it on 15 by 22 inch illustration board, hot press I believe. So it took me a while to come up with an idea for this drawing. I was going to illustrate something that I had dreamed about or some things that I struggle with, but I decided to go with something that really defines who I am. When I was a kid, I used to spend hours in the bathtub playing with my animal toys. I had those, I don't know what the name was, but it was a tube full of little animals, and they would have like a sea animal version, a dinosaur version, safari, farm animals. I mostly played with the dinosaur and sea animal versions. So I used to just fill up the bathtub with some bubble bath, throw all my toys in there, and spend hours just coming up with stories and playing with them as if they were real. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved swimming and being near the ocean. It's such a huge part of who I am. I actually feel more comfortable in the water than I do walking around on land. I grew up in San Jose, California, which is about a 30 to 40 minute drive to Santa Cruz, which was one of my favorite places growing up. If you've never been to Santa Cruz, it's a small hippie beach town about an hour south of San Francisco. It has the best beaches in my opinion. If you go up north a little bit, there's beautiful cliffside beaches that you can climb down, and there's caves. The water's a little bit strong up there, but if you go down by downtown Santa Cruz, they have really beautiful beaches near the boardwalk. My favorite thing to do as a kid was go to Santa Cruz and spend the whole day there. We also used to find swimming holes up in the mountains that the river would run through, and we would just spend the whole day swimming, jumping off rocks, and hiking around the area. Growing up, I always wish I actually lived at the beach. And I think that was a big reason why I chose to go to Laguna College of Art and Design when I got older. LCAD is located about a 2-minute drive from the beach. You can see it if you just drive around the corner a little bit, and it is so beautiful there. The school is actually located in a canyon surrounded by hiking and caves and gorgeous views of the beach in Southern California. I get so nostalgic thinking about that school. Sadly, I was so swamped with work most of the time that I never really got a lot of chances to go to the beach, but during the summer I did. Now that I'm living in Austin, Texas, there's not too many options for going to the beach here, at least not the same kind of beaches as California. I wasn't really liking it here very much until last summer when I found all of the swimming holes here in Austin. Nearby there's a place called Hamilton's Pool that is a giant limestone hole in the ground that has water dripping from the ceiling, and it's like a giant cave. It's gorgeous. If you've seen one of my Austin blogs before, you probably know what it looks like. There's also a lot of springs that they built kind of swimming pools around them here, so it's like a natural swimming pool that's always the same temperature year round, and it's really pretty. There's also the Barton Creek green belt, where you can just swim around in the river and swing on rope swings. I've become a lot happier here since I've found those places. So for this piece, I decided to draw myself as I used to play in the bathtub, and kind of in the scene that I would imagine I was in. So with some small sea animals swimming around me and little boats. And I wanted to make it look like it was the ocean until you look up and see the background of the bathtub above her head. For this painting, I used my Mission Gold watercolor paints. And I did a lot of washes and gradients for the most part. A lot of layers of blues and greens and purple as well. So I first started out drawing the background, the bathtub, the rocks, and then the water. And once that was dry, I moved in to doing the skin of the girl, or myself. The trickiest part of this drawing was making it actually look like she was submerged in water. I originally wanted to do this painting with gouache, but because it's themed around water and everything, I thought that watercolor would be a more effective way to show how I feel in this drawing. I had so much fun painting the little sea animals in the bottom. I wish I could have fit more in, but it started to get too crowded. But I hope to do more pieces similar to this, including more animals along with my mermaids. I'm pretty happy with how this painting came out. I had struggled a lot with the face, not knowing whether I should stylize it more or less. I think I found a good balance in the end, and I was so excited to send it out to the gallery. The gallery show opened on March 3rd, a couple days ago, and it should be on display for the next month. I will put a link in the description to the gallery's website and any other information about it. I have released a set of limited edition prints of this piece. I only had 50 and they sold out within a couple of hours, so I've been getting a huge response of people asking for me to re-release them. I might do a second run of prints pretty soon. So if you want to know more information about my shop updates, you should definitely follow my Instagram. That's where I update most frequently and post about my shop all the time. While I was painting this piece, I used a lot of watercolor washes. I'd add a lot of water to my palette and a small amount of color and slowly layer the color over itself, letting it dry in between. Using a hairdryer or a heat embossing tool can help you speed up the process a little bit. I would slowly layer colors over each other to get a deeper and richer color. And then once those base colors are dry, I'd go over it with a smaller brush, putting in details like waves, leaves, or anything else. Afterwards, I would add shadows. I took a white gel pen and added in the highlights of the water and the little splashes. I wanted to keep the drawing pretty soft, so instead of outlining with black, I used my Pentel Aquash brush pen in light black. It's kind of like a watered down black ink. It's a dark gray, and it's one of my favorite tools to outline with recently. After it was all finished, I took a can of spray fixative and made sure that everything was in place. I trimmed the painting down and put it in a frame. I actually ended up sending a print of this piece to the gallery instead, because the original was pretty big and I needed to overnight it. It would have cost me a whole lot of money to do that, so I printed it a little bit smaller and it was a lot easier for me. Anyway, if you want to follow my Instagram, I will post updates on when I will be re-releasing this print. Anyway, this piece is really personal to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about it. I'm really excited about this piece, and I hope you guys like it too. Thank you for watching, and if you want to leave a comment or like and subscribe, that would be really awesome. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!